Let's make a Disney Easter egg holder. We're going to do this using an SVG file. I will drop a link on where you can get the SVG file. We're going to go upload, upload the image, browse, and then I have this file saved right here. So you're going to download the file and save it. So then you click on this, and you can see the file comes in, and it defaults straight to cut image. That's because this is a true SVG file and not just an image somebody shared with you that you have to clean up. I did all the cleaning up and tell it where to cut and what color goes where for you. It's that easy because this is a true SVG file. So now I click on upload. It's right here. I just click on it and add it to my canvas. That's it. This is why I highly recommend people learn to use true SVG files and not just the images that people send you or drop in a group. Okay, so now everything's ready to cut. Because this SVG file is going to hold a little Easter egg, there's actually going to need to be a fold line here and here. So what I'm going to do, first off, I'm going to go over here and click on ungroup, because right now everything's grouped together. That means I can move it all around in one big group. But I want to just work with that base piece, so I'm going to ungroup. So now I can click on whoops, let's go ungroup again. There was a couple groupings inside of there. It was like grouped within a group. Okay, so now you can see I can click on just this base piece. So what I want to do is go to Shapes, insert a line, a score line. Let's click on this. This is a little under 3 inches wide. So let's make this score line 3 inches. I'm going to go up here to size and just type in 3. And now, because I want that score line going horizontally, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And now I can just drag it down here and put it right in the place where I need that fold line, which is basically where that point is on the base. I'm going to just scooch it a little bit more. Okay, so now I need another one down here. So I can click on that score line and right click and duplicate. So I make a second copy. Duplicates just using copy and paste all in one move. All right, so now the last thing I want to do is select all 3 of these items. So the base layer and both score lines. And I'm just going to look at my layers panel and see that I have both score lines. And then if I scroll down here, I can see that I have the base layer selected. And then I'm going to click attach. Attach holds your placement and position. So what we just told Design Space here was hold the placement and position of those score lines right here on this base piece. Otherwise, if we wouldn't have attached, your score lines would have showed up on a separate cutting mat. Okay, that is it. Now we can click Make It. When I click Make It, you're going to see the previews of each cutting mat. So the first mat I'm going to load will be my gray cardstock. It's going to first score. So my scoring stylus will drag across those 2 spots to make that score line. And then it's going to come back with the blade and cut out these shapes. Next I will load black cardstock. Then I will do the 2 different shades of blue for Stitch's face. And then all the pieces for the ears and the feet. So if I click continue, so now it has connected to my Cricut machine via the Bluetooth. It's showing me that I have my base material set to cardstock plus. If you have the machine that has the dial on it, just turn the dial to change it to something else. But I'm using a kind of stiffer cardstock, so that's why I went with cardstock plus. So this tells me first I want to load my scoring stylus, and then I'm going to push this double arrow that's blinking on my Cricut machine. After that is done, before I unload the mat, you'll see that I'll put the fine point blade in. The double arrow that blinked first is what loads the Cricut mat. So then once we have that in and we've verified that we do have our scoring stylus or scoring wheel in there, we press the blinking C and you can see it scores along the paper. So then the Cricut stops and I can pull out the scoring stylus and insert the blade. Then that little C starts blinking again, so I hit that again, and now we cut. Now that everything is cut, it's time to assemble our bunny. So I'm going to start with the base piece, and you can see that score line right there. That came out nice and crisp. I like to, with my hands, just kind of give it a soft fold to get it started. I'm going to do that on both sides. But then once I've done that, I come in with my bone folder and just go over that to make sure it's a nice, crisp, hard fold line. And now it stands up on its own like a little table. And that's going to be perfect to set our Easter egg in. I'm just using plastic eggs for this demonstration. We don't want to break any eggs. All right, so now let's assemble the bunny. I like to start off by kind of taking my pieces and looking at them and layering them on top of each other without a glue or adhesive on there. So I can just kind of see that everything fits. And sometimes you're going to have to kind of tweak things and shift them. But especially with a piece like this, you can line up sections. And then while the glue or adhesive is still wet, you can shimmy things around. I do like to put a few little pieces of double-sided tape. That's with my tape runner. I put those in a few random places, but then I come in with some glue. And I like to use a Zig Glue Pen. It's a really nice pen that when you take the cap off here, you can see that it's got like a chisel tip end that's basically allows you to draw or write with the glue. So I can just come in here and write wherever I need glue and kind of draw in there. And then you shake the pen and then push down on the tip to kind of get the glue flowing. Now I just flip this over, and what I'm going to do is try to line up the opening around the egg shape that's in the stomach, and then I just kind of lightly tack down things for the head until I have that egg shape lined up, and then I can shift those ears so that I get a nice black border around the whole thing. So work it in sections. But now you can see there's a black border all the way around. So now it's time to put in the pieces for the little pink bunny feet. So I'm going to use my Zig two-way pen again. And I apply the glue right inside the foot hole. And then place the piece. Because those little toes are smaller and harder to place, I have a little tip. grab a pin pen. This is typically used for weeding vinyl, but what I'm going to do is apply my glue first, and then I'm going to use my pin pen to poke part of the toe, and then I can use that to position and place it. This makes it easier than trying to pick up that little tiny toe piece and place it right where you want it. So I'm going to do that again on the other side and apply the glue and then use my pin pen to just poke them. If you don't have a pin pen, you could use a straight pin. I just like the pin pen because it's easier to hold because it's like holding a pen. Now it's time to put together the pieces for Stitch's face. I'm going to very carefully, using my little spatula, remove the darker top half of his head or his face from the cutting mat. You can see the cardstock I used had a white center, so I have some little white pieces that are showing. I am going to use my pin pen to kind of poke through. There's a little scrap of paper stuck in there. So I'm just using that to kind of poke through there. But then I'm going to show you a little trick that I have for those white edges. If you grab a marker that's a similar color to the cardstock you're using and just run it, the tip of it, along the edge of the paper, do you see how it's kind of hiding that white and kind of almost make it fade away? Now, there will be a little bit of a bleed and you'll get some kind of darker blue shadowing around the outer edge. And, you know, for some designs, I think it looks really kind of nice. So it just is a nice kind of way to take the harshness off of the edge. And up close, it kind of looks funky when you're just looking at the piece, but when you have it further away and place it on top of another piece, trust me, it really starts to look cute. So now I'm just going to take my glue pen and I'm going to apply glue to the back side of Stitch's face. So now I can flip him over, and careful because there's some of these parts of his face that are very thinly cut. So now I can just place that on there and make sure all of my little edges line up and that everything is stuck down, especially that part right under his nose. Make sure you get glue on there so that it sticks down nice. All right, he's looking cute. I can see a little bit of the lighter blue kind of showing behind, so I'm going to come back with my pen again and just go along that edge right up there. There. Now I can add some tape and some glue to the backside of his face so that I can put it inside the entire bunny shape. And now it looks like Stitch is in a bunny costume. I'm sorry, I think this is too cute. Oh, don't forget the pupils. Those really kind of make his eyes pop. So I'm putting a little dot of glue down, then I'm grabbing his pupils with my pin pen and placing those. Now it's time to attach these pieces to the base so that we can have it all standing together. So you'll see there's a curved edge on the base that lines up with the curved bottom of the bunny suit. So I am going to kind of open this up and make it flat again. Add some glue with my Zig Glue Pen again. Then I'm going to, actually, I think I'm going to flip him over. Yeah. Flip that over, then put the sticky side of the glue and line up the bottom edges. And just hold your glue there. Smooth it down. Alright, so now this is the harder part, is putting glue on this flap that is standing up and you don't really have a flat surface. I guess I could have flattened it down a little bit more, but sorry, didn't do that. Now we'll stick the other half of the bunny there. You can see this starts to make a three-dimensional piece with kind of a table ledge in there. Last but not least, I'm going to use my tape runner and just stick a little tape here so that these ears stay stuck together, because I don't want them flopping around and falling open. I want this all to stay nice and secure. And now when I stand him up, he's all ready to go. I just need to add the egg. Before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I love to hear from you.